Singapore versus Malaysia. This is one topic that we have talked about many times in my channel here. If you have not watched any of those videos, go and check it out here. And every time when we talk about this topic, many of you have a lot of comments. So this time round, we decided to go down to the street and ask the people what they think about Malaysia versus Singapore, but with a twist.
Oh shit, here we go again.
We're not gonna ask Malaysians, we are gonna go and ask Singaporeans what they think about Malaysia economy versus Singapore economy.
What do you think about economy between Malaysia and Singapore?
Honestly, I'm not that well read, but I think it's alright. I mean, I go to JB to buy their stuff.
That's a very general question I can't answer off the bat. My answer will be best approximation, so I apologize if I make errors. Just give me 5 seconds to think about it.
Okay.
I think obviously for Malaysia the living expenses is much lower, but in terms of Singapore-wise, it's definitely higher. But of course we are comparing in terms of Singaporean going over. But if you were to compare Malaysian, I believe that most of them who are working there would find it relatively high to be living and working there at the same time.
Correct!
I think my first impression is really Singapore is much more developed. The economy seems to be doing better. While Malaysia seems to be always in political turmoil, whereby it's always changing of political parties.
Are you sure about that?
And there's always the incentive of chasing power, but perhaps the citizens of Malaysia, the Malaysians, perhaps they feel more disgruntled. They feel that the politicians don't care about them. So yeah, I think that's the first impression. But also I think on Singapore, the realization we have is that we are very limited by our size. So I think in terms of the economy here, we are maybe going more towards biotech or deep tech startups, so that because those can scale better.
I think Singapore, the economy is now better because of the power of buying. And in Malaysia, of course the currency make a lot of difference, right? So when we shop in Malaysia, we feel the economy is better for us. Yeah.
Okay, I'm not entirely familiar, but I feel that in terms of economy, certain parts of Malaysia and Singapore is comparable because I've seen before and how the economy is how the infrastructure and how how everyone generally are over there. But I think there are also a lot of parts in Malaysia which I'm not sure, but for example, maybe more ulu areas, economy is not as great, maybe because of maybe lack of finance invested in the area, or maybe lack of people, could be. So this is what I know about it.
There's a huge gap between the countries, definitely. Singapore's pricey for accommodation, cars, petrol, stuff like that. But in general, I believe that the Malaysians have it harder because let's say if you are a working adult, right, you get paid $3,000 ringgit a month, but a meal costs you $15 in ringgit, right? While in Singapore, if you get paid 3K Sing dollars, you can get me for $5.
Hey guys, do you know we just launched our newsletter? If you would like to have some exclusive weekly financial tips, some of our thoughts behind the scene, and
my thoughts about the market,
you can go to www.mrmoneystv.com to sign up for the newsletter. When you subscribe for the newsletter, you will get a retirement calculator. So what you waiting for? Sign up now!
How do you think Malaysia can fix the gap between Singapore?
In my time here, I was fascinated by the system that Singapore established, the government and the systems that they implement, and how rigid they are and how incorruptible they are. So I think establishing that strong foundation in Malaysia is important as well. I think that's the way to go.
I mean, they do have better resources than us. Population-wise, they have a huge population, but well, they're just not moving in the right direction to do that. If you give them good leadership and maybe 40, 50 more years, maybe they can. But I guess in the near future and the current way it's going, probably not, I think.
No, I understand where you're coming from, but again, perhaps a rough approximation, I don't know whether it's true, is that firstly, I suppose just a changing of just the politics need to be more stable, because I think when the leadership is not there, maybe Malaysians themselves, they feel that what's the point of perhaps working so hard if I don't get an equal opportunity of the people in the establishment don't really care about me. I don't know about the entrepreneurship scene in Malaysia, so I can't really comment on that, but I'm very pro-entrepreneurship, so I hope that I suppose what Malaysia has that Singapore does not have is just a bigger consumer market, and that extends to I suppose Indonesia as well. So maybe just focusing more on the consumer market, and I don't know, maybe incorporate a company in Singapore but do the business in Malaysia.
I mean, Malaysia is a huge country. They got resources, they got land. I'm sure that there's a lot more the country can give.
I think maybe can have more foreign, can invest in more foreigners in a sense to go there and work and improve the economy, or maybe in terms of creating different avenues of different streams of income for those places, or maybe having more shops or more businesses over there in order to improve it in a sense. Yeah.
I feel that perhaps they could retain much of the talent. I believe that there are a lot of capable Malaysians, but I've read that perhaps they have said that there might be some talent that are looking for opportunities overseas that they couldn't seek for in Malaysia. Yeah, I guess there could be a starting point whereby they retain more of their talent to at least keep them within the economy and aid in the growth of the country.
So you have heard what Singaporeans think about Malaysia economy versus Singapore economy and how can we catch up. But what do you guys think? Do you think what they say is true? Now share with us in the comments below. And if you'd like us to ask Malaysians what they think about Malaysia versus Singapore, do put down a Malaysian flag in the comment as well. See you guys!